Hi there, Bren White. This is Reality 101, Episode 15. Thanks for joining me again. I have just a few things to share with you today, and I hope that they help you, prompt you, give you perspective on what is going on in the world and in your life. When it comes to determining what is true, it's all about the source. Now, whenever somebody says that their source is an unidentified source, it means that it's a lie. It's fabricated. Everything comes down to the source of the information. From whom is it coming? And what is the basis for what is being said? And this is crucial. This is really crucial. And we know if we have been reading, studying things, paying attention to world history, we know how this works. You know that there are famous writers and philosophers and historical figures of all kinds who have asserted different things. And sometimes you need to go back and see who were their influences. This is especially true with writers and philosophers. Who were their influences? Who were their sources of information and influence? This is crucial, absolutely crucial, to understand the validity, the reliability of the information that you are receiving. If you do not know this, if it's being generated in some generic way, and it's a part of a technology, a big technology programming of human beings, it is a problem. It's a problem. You actually have to use your human mind, which has tremendous capacity, in order to evaluate what is being said, who said it, when they said it, why they said it, and who were their influences. This is crucial. This is crucial. Otherwise, you will never be able to properly determine what is true. Now, I've tried to help you get some overall perspective about this as well. I have to say at this juncture that clarity only comes from choosing the source of your life to be the source of all your information. Now, I hope that you absorb this. The clarity comes from choosing the source of your life, the one who made you, who thought you up, who designed your brain and your body, to be the source of all your information. The one who actually thought you up is the best source. This is reality. And it's actually very, very logical. What's happened is other voices have interloped into the situation, and the one who is over all things, controls all things, made all things, and sustains all things at this very moment, is the best source of information. There is no comparison whatsoever. The originator of all things is the originator of truth. And it happens that he says to us over and over in his holy word, the Holy Bible, which is the most reliable document on the face of the earth, he says to us over and over and over that basically truth determines freedom. If you don't know the truth, you will never be free. You will always be taken advantage of, enslaved, manipulated in some way. This is the importance of this series, and I hope that the things that we've been sharing and the things that I shared today are helpful in this regard. Now, another thing I have to throw out there is that the narrative of the world is never from God. I hope this isn't too clear for you. It goes along with what I was just saying. The narrative that dominates in the world through technology is not from God. Now, this shouldn't be surprising. What ends up happening is, and he does have a message. He is not behind the narrative that's going on in the world right now, but he does have a message, and it is true, and it is awesome. It is an awesome message that God has for you. Now, one of the problems in all this is that Satan is at work, has been at work throughout history, and he is constantly scheming and helping others, helping human beings to scheme in every possible way to do evil things, to do destructive things, things that will ruin human beings, harm human beings, will take away freedom, will take away that which is good and wholesome and useful and beautiful. This is the problem. Satan is notorious for deceiving constantly, for lying constantly. That's who he is. Jesus calls him the father of lies, and this is totally correct. But Satan is notorious for labeling things the opposite of what they really are. Now, I say this because it causes problems for human beings all the time. This is true even in legislation here in the United States of America and Congress. There are evil people who actually put the opposite title on a bill of legislation from what it actually is. There are lies everywhere, and it has to do something with Satan being the trickster, the one who is tricking people, manipulating people with lies. He's the deceiver. This is what he does constantly. And it's really his whole job at this point. It won't be for long, but he is notorious for labeling things the opposite of what they really are. Now, I'm telling you this because this is what's going on right now in the world. Things are being called one thing, and they're not. They're not that. Things that are being called lies are actually truth, and the things that are truth are being called lies and disinformation and are being censored. Now, this is a serious problem. If you cannot speak freely and frankly, you are not free. This is the reality for all human beings. If you cannot speak freely and frankly, you are not free. Now, I have to remind everyone that Jesus Christ came filled with the truth, and he spoke the truth freely and frankly every single day he woke up on the earth. Now, this is important for you because you and I, in order to discern, have to understand all of what I just said completely. We have to understand it completely. Otherwise, we will be duped, we will be tricked, we will be manipulated. And basically, the king of false advertising, Satan, will continue to confuse human beings who do not have an anchor in the truth, in the source of their very life. These things are crucial. I want to just read a few passages that are connected to this. And this is right out of history. This is written by the greatest warrior king in history, King David. And he is saying some things that you and I should take to heart. He was brilliant in every way, and although not perfect, he was a hero to many people, and even now today. So in Psalm 111, he says, talking about God and his being sovereign over all nations, he says, all he does is just and good, and all his commandments are trustworthy. Everything God says is trustworthy. He goes on to say, fear of the Lord is the foundation of true wisdom. Now King Solomon also said this, and we read that last time. All who obey his commandments will grow in wisdom. Everybody who pays attention to what God says will actually become wise. If you do not pay attention to what the source of your very life says, you will end up being ruined. You will not have a good life, and you will end up being destroyed. This is what evil does. Evil is destructive. Lies, being manipulated, confusion, chaos is all destructive. It's not what you were made for. This is crucial to understand. The wisdom that comes from paying attention to the one who put you here. He put you here for his purpose according to his own design, and you reflect something about that complex design in your thinking when you're using your mind properly. Now, he goes on to say, the light shines in the darkness. We talked about that last time out of John 1. In the darkness for the godly. And he goes on to say that such people who end up not being righteous, not walking in the light of God, not paying attention to what he's saying, they end up having issues. And but the people who do follow what he says, such people will not be overcome by evil. Now, there's a reason for this, because when you're anchored in the truth, when you're holding to a truth that is eternal and consistently correct, coming from the mouth of the one who is sovereign over all things right now, at this very second, when that is true, you can overcome the evil things because you're able to use your mind to stay free, to think through things, to discern properly. That's what the mind is for. He says, those who are righteous will be long remembered. They do not fear bad news. They confidently trust the Lord to care for them. They are confident and fearless and can face their foes triumphantly. This is where courage comes from. King David was very courageous, warrior king, like none other. He was very courageous, even from the time he was a young man. He had courage, and he's talking about this. Why? Because truth not only brings freedom, but being anchored in the one who is the source of all truth brings courage. Courage to you, to me, to deal with the evil that exists around us every day. And in the world, constantly, not getting better, getting worse. He goes on to say, for the Lord is high above the nations. His glory is higher than the heavens. There's nobody who can be compared to the Lord our God, who's enthroned on high. He continues on basically, we're talking about chapter 1:19 now. You made me, you created me. Now give me the sense to follow your commands. Your instructions are more valuable to me than millions in gold and silver. This is King David saying this. You made me, you created me, now give me the sense to follow your commands. And he goes on to say that out of that comes tremendous joy. Great joy comes out of that. Great strength comes from knowing the truth and knowing the one who is the source of all truth. Walking with him faithfully every day, listening to him. This is the way you and I stay strong and we overcome the evil that is in the world. We are following, hopefully, following his son, Jesus, who shows us exactly how to do this, exactly how to walk in the light, because he is the light. And he makes it possible for us to have light coming in truth into our minds, listening to his words. That's why Jesus Christ was called the light of the world. What do you need most in this life? You need love, but not just any love. You need the love of the faithful one who thought you up, the one who is love. God is love. Love has a source. True love, pure love, genuine, caring, reliable love has one source, and it is God, the maker and sustainer of all things. And Jesus Christ comes showing us that love, showing us the love of God, coming into the world as the light of the world so that we could experience the love of God. And then he starts talking about the Father in loving terms and talking about how you and I have walked away and we are like the prodigal son and we are needing to turn back in the direction of our Father, our Maker, God, who is love. And he comes running down the road to meet us, Jesus says. God is running down the road. The Father is running toward you in order to hug you, to embrace you, to receive you fully, to love you in the way that you need to be loved. This is the message of Jesus Christ. This is who Jesus Christ is. This is why knowing the truth is so important. Otherwise, you will not be able to get what you need most. This is what you need most. This is what you are made for. You are made for truth. You're made for love. You're made for freedom. This is what you're made for. And God is the source of these three things. There is no other source. The living God of the Bible is the source of these things you need the most. If you have any questions, please comment, let me know, and I will be helpful in whatever way I can. I'll be praying for you. You have a great week. Keep thinking about these things and studying, and we'll talk more next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.